One of the biggest news stories on Weibo currently is probably the Syrian conflict and whether or not America will strike against Assad's government despite Russia's hardline stance against America's plan. Now, the official stance of China is against military involvement of any kind in Syria, and so there has been a lot of Weibo posts online from various medias that highlight a lack of support from the American people for the operation. Now, one Weibo post stated that support for the strike in Syria is the lowest of any American foreign military operation ever, with only 38% of Americans who believe that America should attack Syria. Now, there are also numerous Chinese news blogs that criticize the United States for planning to attack Syria without the full support of the UN. Syria, on the other hand, stated that should they be attacked by a foreign nation, their allies will retaliate. Now, most of their comments on Weibo regarding the planned attack on Syria is negative. A lot of Weibo users think what is currently happening in Syria is really none of America's business. However, there are also some who believe that America is standing up for what they believe in, that they need to police the world because no one else will do it. And now let's take a look at what people had to say about this news story.
America has just finished up in Iraq and Afghanistan, and already they are planning their next attack? Why is America going out of its way to piss off other countries? Are they somehow making a lot of money doing this? Don't they have something better to do than to bomb other nations? I think America is trying to send a message to the other Middle Eastern nations, and the message is that America is still the most powerful country in the world, and that if you mess with them, they will beat you up. Some people feel that America is losing its position as the world's dominant power, but this will show that they are still number one. I can't believe Putin directly said that they will help Syria should the United States attack. If Putin didn't say this, America might back out of the attack by citing that Congress voted against it. But now, if America backs down, people will think it's because they are afraid of Putin. America will never show weakness like that, so no matter what happens, America will attack. Thanks, Putin. You just condemned the people of Syria to U.S. bombing. Russia talks big, but that is only because Putin is reckless. Putin thinks Russia is his own property, and he runs it like a family business. America might not be what it was 20 years ago, but it can still dominate Russia. I've read articles online. People in Russia don't like Putin. Putin should not push his luck. People complain about America being the police of the world, but the world needs a police, just like how we need police in society. If a country is killing its own citizens, then someone needs to stand up against the government.
Chinese President Xi Jinping sat down with President Obama in St. Petersburg last Friday, and the press noticed that both men did not mention Syria at all, even though it was one of the more pressing issues at the St. Petersburg conference. According to an article from the Politico, much of the difference between how the U.S. is treating Russia and China is due to realpolitik, that the U.S. values its relationship with China more than it does with Russia, and so that it is more willing to jeopardize its ties with Moscow over the Syria conflict. However, many Chinese internet users also pointed out that Putin's remarks about helping Assad should the United States attack has essentially pushed the U.S. into a corner, such that the United States has very few options left but to strike. Congress is expected to vote on whether or not the U.S. will take action against Syria, and we'll be sure to let you know how Chinese internet users react to their decision.